Whoa! Halloween is coming, and you guys are wondering the scary story. Are you gonna watch Friday the 13th? Are you gonna watch Halloween? Are you gonna watch Freddy? Are you gonna watch the Saw movies? Hi, let me tell you the scariest story of all. 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Now that should scare you, man. That means at the end of the month, if a person doesn't get a check, they'll be homeless. Now that should be scary. Hey, you want to know another thing? All these Amazon jobs you see, fulfillment centers, people are making $15, $16 an hour. You do the math. 15 times 10 is like 150 times, I don't know, man. It basically comes out to about 1,800, 2,000 a month. That comes out to 24,000 a year. You know what? I'm spending $1,870 on my apartment right now. So now, if you compare that to what these people, students or younger people or adults, are making at these fulfillment centers, at the end of the month they're making $1,500, $1,600. They can't even cover my rent. So you know what this means? This means like the people, you have a lot of young people and older people living at home. Like people 20, that should scare you. You got adult men, adult women, 25 to 30 living at home. In my generation, they would have called that a deadbeat. The parents would have kicked them out. And the problem is, I know you say, well, Martin, that's a lot of money, $1,700. It is. And when people and the immigrants come in, it's a lot of money. Unfortunately for Americans or immigrants that be Americanized, that's just like enough money to buy a car. They got an extra fourth. They take that $1,800 instead of saving like half of it. So, hey, I'm going to move into my apartment. I got a down payment. I had enough money to cover my rent for 3 or 4 months so I could start building some independence and learn how to make decisions outside of living with my parents who already have a house that's underwater. And like maybe I can at least learn how to pay my rent by paying them. But unfortunately, these young people aren't even lowering that. So that's why you see everyone's driving around in Maseratis and what is it? Maseratis, Lexuses, what have I seen? I'm in the hood in San Bernardino. Yeah, these people driving around in Mercedes in the ghetto, man. I grew up in the ghetto. I remember I had a 2008 BMW. I used to try to sneak it in, park it in my grandmother's yard on the yard. In an area where the crime is about 50 to 60%. You know what? The last thing I should have been worried about is if someone's going to steal my Beamer. I should have been worried about if someone's going to come break in my house and shoot me or something like that or rob me. So now it's like another thing that should scare you. I want you to drive around your neighborhood. Look at all these. Amazon is great. Let me tell you, Amazon, you did a great job, Amazon. I'm not ragging on you because that's not your responsibility to boost the economy or provide wages. Your job is to make money. So it's what I like about Amazon. Now, let me tell you the bad part. Unfortunately, when the politicians keep raising taxes, if you go back to that Great Recession of 2008, like people who had houses, a house usually cost about $225,000 to $250,000 a year. So you're looking at about a payment of $1,800. Well, you need to have at least a salary of $40,000 to $50,000 a year to cover that kind of mortgage, and maybe cover a car payment and some other expenses. Now, when all these jobs move away to Texas, I know I had a friend, she worked at Carl's Jr. They moved their headquarters to Tennessee, and they gave the people the option, hey, come to Tennessee or use your job. And then she went to Tennessee, she bought a house, and she's happy. I'm not going to no fucking Tennessee. I don't care. I'm going to learn how to sell. I'm not going to Tennessee. I had some other friends. Toyota used to be here in Torrance. Used to have a humongous headquarters. What happened? State of California kept raising their taxes. They moved their headquarters to Texas. Last time I spoke to someone, they said, yeah, Toyota built like this humongous headquarters in Texas. It's like a 7-8 story building. That's what they're doing with all the money they're saving for taxes. So what should scare you is all these jobs where you make 40 to 50,000 to 60,000 a year either moves away to another state, or what about if you have to commute 2.5 hours today to work and back? Ooh, every day. Now that's scary. I came back from I was in Arcata interviewing for a job to do some work at the Breeders' Cup. I was in traffic for 2.5 hours. I'm like, oh my God. And there was only one accident. So people do that every day. You know why they do that from San Bernardino, Riverside County to Los Angeles County? Because there's no jobs in the area to help them pay for their houses. They back in 2007, 2008, all the jobs are toward the Los Angeles area, Ventura County area, toward where they call the new place Silicon Beach area and Meridian Array. That's when you can get a salary about $50,000, $60,000 plus the potential for options. That's where all the jobs are. So you know what the people need to do if they don't want to lose their houses? They gotta drive. Whoa! Now that's scary. They gotta drive 2.5 hours. That's how you can get enough money to cover your, get about $4,000 a month, gives you about 2,000, about a $3,000 net, and that gives you enough money to cover your house. So that's why people are commuting, man. That's why I had to sell my house in Yucca Valley. I had a nice 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom house on an acre and a half. I was like the militia, man. I had a house, but I had to sell it because I knew there was a housing complex going in right between my job, where my house is, and where my job is. I had to go through this stretch of land, this stretch of freeway, and I saw the houses coming. And what happens? I knew it would be like a bottleneck because the problem is there are not enough jobs to support like a $350,000 house purchase. What? You can't, unless you're like the manager of that fulfillment center, work a government job, or maybe you have your own business. That's the only way you're going to be able to afford like a $2,000, $2,500 loan, regardless of how much aid they give you. The bank's going to make sure they get paid. So what happens if you go now every day between the 60 and the 210 freeway, just packed with cars about 6 or 7 o'clock? Looks like a parking lot. I'm back in LA, man. It reminds me when I used to commute from LA to what is it? UCLA. I had like a part-time job, or I used to commute from LA to UCLA because I was studying for my engineering license test. So I used to go take that little stretch run from, either I have to take the 110 freeway. You guys know what? If you're not, look it up. 110 freeway to the 105 freeway, or 110 to the 405. And I'm on this 405. That's how the 405 used to be as you came over the hill into like LA County. It's all packed. Well, that's how it is just coming from Riverside, Orange County, just to get to the LA area. So that's why I ended up selling my house and getting an apartment. Best decision I ever made. And so like what I'm saying is like, when you see all these fulfillment centers, unfortunately, when only you can make $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year. So you're basically, that's all you can maybe is get an apartment or do some roommate, which is fine. But unfortunately, everyone thinks now you need to have a luxury car, even in the ghetto. I just like love. I just like love. I mean, especially. I mean, it's a difference if you knew if you lived during that July, the 2008 Great Depression. You know, a car is the least of your worries. But now you see people living and have cars, but unfortunately, it's like some of these young people have cars, but then they don't have a place to stay, or they taking showers in the gym. Now, don't get me started on like when you go to the gym, you have guys posing in front of mirrors. You know, when I was younger, they called that gay, man. That is, you don't stand with another man in front of a mirror. You do it in the confines of your own home. You don't do it in front of a bunch of other guys. I was in the gym yesterday. This guy was flexing his abs in a cycling room. I'm just like, man, guys have no shame, man. You know, let me tell you about how the Great Depression of 2008 has basically eliminated the muscle-bound guys. They're done. Women have like elevated to the point they don't go out with aggressive guys. They don't go out with dominant guys. And if they're going out with them now, be rest assured they're having an affair or planning on dumping them. So, but that should scare you. 76% of people are living a paycheck to paycheck. People who do have money are commuting 2.5 hours to work. It's crazy, man. Back and forth. And you wonder why you have so many murder-suicides or people killing themselves. Hey, I was in a car for 2.5 hours and I almost wanted to kill myself. I'm like, oh my God. Stop and go. Stop and go. Stop, go. Stop, go. Stop, go. And then what makes it even worse now? Gas. $4.39, $4.49. So you're spending all this money for gas, and you're just losing all that time in the car. So my Halloween story to you is to put away $100 to $500. So when times get tough, you can just go find that $100 to $500 and know, hey, you're able to eat, you have gas, you don't have to buy your groceries with a credit card. And then we'll talk about why you shouldn't do that. But just, hey, why buy? I mean, you might as well just go to a loan shark if you're going to buy your groceries with gas. Buy your groceries with a credit card. Just like so. This Halloween, put away $100 to $500 so you don't have to use your credit card. So when you comes to the end of the month, you have more money the month, and you won't be like other people who at the end of the month scream or want to kill themselves because they don't have the money. And we're going to strive and not just survive during this recession. Let's get it on, people.